Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning LaLa. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessa Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLa Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
And it's hashtag Friday Mood, relationship goals. We're going to hack how to deal with your reactions and triggers.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
all of us have this, right? How do we
You live in LA.
We come together each morning to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and have some fun in Hollywood, in LaLa Land, which is not just about LA, it's about the believers, the doers, and the positive shakers.
Yes.
I don't know, whatever.
Shakers. I like that.
Shakers.
Little shakers in the
He's
booty.
got the Friday feel.
I definitely have a cougar dress on, so I'm feeling it.
Love the dress.
Well, we're so excited to welcome to the show our very special guest this morning. Hello, everyone, back in the studio. Good morning, ladies. Good
morning.
Oh, they definitely have the Friday feels in the house. We've got the gorgeous Jen Braff. She's talking all things art, life, and anti-aging. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning.
So here on Good Morning LaLa Land, we like to know, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, usually my morning routine is first thing when I open my eyes. I like to just say how grateful I am for everything, and I start my day that way, and then I get up and I make a special coffee because I can't have caffeine, but with raw cocoa powder and with clarified butter, ghee, and what else do I do?
Butter chocolate coffee sounds good.
I'm giving up coffee.
Yeah, and then just get on with my day. I start doing putting together some things to do my art, and that's about it. And then we see what goes for the rest of the day.
We practice the art of allowing,
There you
right?
go.
I'm
Yes.
expecting some beautiful things for you today. Jamie Anderson is back in the house. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
We're so excited for that Hollywood Short Film Fest happening. We know one of your films is premiering tomorrow at the Chinese. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we want to know, is there something you're doing differently this year than you were doing last year to start your day?
Not too much differently. I still, waking up and meditating 20 minutes and finding something to be grateful for. And I would say keep reframing the day. No matter what happened the day before, it's a new day, and expect something miraculous to happen.
Wow.
Little reframing on the fly.
Clearly it's working for her. She's
Yes.
having some massive success in
Thank
the film circuit. So congratulations, Jamie.
Thank you.
Girls Rock is in the house all the way from Santa Barbara. Good morning, ladies.
Santa Barbara.
morning.
Woo, go Dons.
So we've got this beautiful and incredibly talented mother-daughter team in the house representing Girls Rock. Tell us a little bit about what is Girls Rock and how does this power duo start their day?
So Girls Rock is an empowerment program, and we empower girls through music from the age of 6 to 16. We put them in bands, so we put girls on drums and keys and vocals, and over the course of a semester they have to write an original song, they have to learn their respective instruments, and they have to perform to a sold-out crowd. So it's really a lot about using music as a vehicle to build self-esteem in girls.
Wow. And we've got one of these superstars right here. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about how does a young star on the rise like you start her day? What's your morning routine?
My morning routine starts with snoozing my alarm a couple times, waking up 30 minutes late, and I always start listening to music in the morning. I'll listen to it, I'll sing along because it always puts me in a really good mood.
Oh,
Nice.
What are you singing along to today?
Today it was some original stuff, but yesterday it was a lot of like old classic songs.
Oh, sounds like the artist.
1980s?
Yeah.
80s?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Molly Lita's in the house. She has been a longtime friend of the Focus family. She's a relationship expert and therapist. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So this is the perfect time for a conversation with you on hashtag Friday Feels on dating, love, and relationships. But first we want to know, what do you do to start your day off right?
Well, there's probably three things, but first it does start with hitting the snooze as well, as you mentioned. So those three things are, first, I definitely meditate and just ask for that guidance to be love and light and to serve the world in whatever ways I best can. And there's also that practice of gratitude. I drink my celery juice because I'm a fan of the medical medium. And then I do some kind of movement, and that's just to connect with my feminine energy, and that's primarily S-Factor movement. So if there's any S-Factor fans, I'm an S-Factor girl, and it's been a life changer for me.
Okay, so tease us a little bit. What is the S factor?
So the S-Factor is feminine movement, and it's actually,
I feel like that's a very professional term.
right.
She's holding back. She's holding back.
She's waiting for good. Save it for later in this show.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for being here. We're excited to talk to you more in a little while.
The medical mediums really touched a lot of people with drinking celery juice.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Are you doing that now?
I've done it a few times and it's great, but I can't. It's always sold out. The organic celery whenever I go to the store, like everybody's buying it up from the medical medium.
Problems. Champagne problems.
Let me tell you, have you ever tried to clean your juicer after making celery juice? Nightmare.
It's a mess, huh?
It's a mess. It
All
is.
little shards.
But it does make a really, really big difference.
It does.
I know our good friend Serena Poon here, Chef Serena, who's got her show Serena Loves on Ever Talk. She's a big fan of celery juice. I'm a big fan of hers. I just use the Just Add Water. That's enough for me. That's one of her products. So that gives me all my vitamins and minerals and all the things in one little packet that tastes like chocolate. So I would rather have that than celery juice.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's Friday. What are you guys doing? Any hot plans? Any hot plans?
I'm gonna go skydiving.
Oh yeah, your brother.
see,
It's your brother's. It's your brother's birthday, right?
Yeah, it's his birthday this weekend. My mom's birthday as well. They were born on the same day.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
So we might do the skydiving thing. I don't know how I feel like about faking death. That
But
whole
have you
thing.
ever done it
You know what I'm saying? I've never done it before. I have no fear of it. I just don't know if I love it.
I want you to take some video of this.
Are
What's
you?
gonna happen?
You guys in? You gonna be part of it?
No,
Oh,
no,
of course not.
no,
Okay.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely take video. We'll put it on the show on Monday. And if any of you have been skydiving, please DM us, write us a comment, encourage Rob, and give him all the tips that he needs to know before he fakes death.
That's right, exactly. Before I play chicken with the concrete. It's like, will the earth move or will I?
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I know, trust me. But
you know,
these things.
if whatever.
That's right, exactly.
How about you, Jess? What's going on this weekend?
Well, I last night went to Yamashiro. It's been there for over 100 years. It's this iconic location in Hollywood, one of the best views in LA. And what better place to celebrate CBS's This Is LA. Their new season is premiering. One of my dear friends, Dario Christian, is hosting the show. And we actually met about 10 years ago when we first came to LA. We were in this hosting workshop together. And it's been incredible just to see the success and the hard work really pays off. And so wanted to honor him last night. I did some fun Insta stories. Be sure to check out my Insta at Jeslyn if you want to take a look at Yamashiro, the incredible view, and some of the cast of This Is LA.
Oh my
Love the
gosh!
Insta
So
story.
I had to tell you guys. So I don't know if you watched my Instagram story, but I posted about the night before, not last night, but the night before. It was the weirdest thing because I think I told you guys that my dreams had completely gone away when I used to meditate, and I haven't been meditating the 3 or 5 hours I used to do. So my dreams have all come back in, and 2 nights ago I had a total nightmare. Like I woke up crying at 3 a.m. I literally had it was this really intense feeling like I was losing the love of my life, like he was dying and leaving at the same, and it was the most intense emotion I've ever felt. And I woke up kind of crying and I went, okay, it was just a dream, and I got up. And I have had multiple people reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, the same exact thing happened to me at 3 a.m. last night. I've never experienced a dream like that before.
Really?
And I was like,
Wow.
whoa. And then one of my friends said, my dad died yesterday. So it's just like, how connected are we as
wild,
one
right?
consciousness?
It is.
It's weird.
Yeah, and I'd say that the more we evolve, quote unquote, the more sensitive you become to those things.
Right?
It's kind of wild. Yeah.
It's wild.
I slept like a baby, but still.
Last night it was fine.
Last night was fine, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Rob, you seem to have mastered hacking this whole happiness thing. We're really enjoying watching your Insta stories and everything that you share in your car on your way to all the busy podcasts and workouts and everything that you've been doing. That's been really
Appreciate that,
exciting.
Jess. I'm trying to keep up with you guys.
We want to see
Man.
more. We want to see
There you
more.
go, yeah.
I want to see at 3 a.m. pumping iron. I want to see that body. Come on, we don't want to see the body. Let's face the facts. We want to see it.
I love it, Erin. Oh my God.
Speaking of relationship,
first.
it's hashtag Friday Feels or Friday Mood or relationship goals or whatever works. And we've been in this big conversation this last week. We actually had a group coaching call in metaphysics. And the reality is that when you're doing self-development, it doesn't matter if you're single, dating, or married, the work is always the same, as you know. You know, it's really doing your trauma work, you know, releasing all your, expectations and getting clear what works for you and doesn't work for you and so on and so forth. But so I have one client and she is like, okay, I definitely want a relationship. And we get down to like, why, is this an authentic desire, da, da, da. And we're like, okay, let's make a plan, And we're really thinking about it, it's like, okay, just because you decide you want a relationship doesn't mean that you, like we talk about, embodying it. So we're talking about how do you deal with the triggers and the reactions, because we all have those, and we don't know how, if we really heal those until we get back in a relationship. So how do you deal with those,
Well,
right?
before we
it's a
continue
great
the
question.
conversation, I think it's important to define triggers in a relationship, right?
great.
Because some people don't understand that. So Rob, what
Anything that disturbs your peace. Anything that disturbs your peace is a trigger.
For in a subconscious way, it's actually something that triggers a traumatic incident that has you do the response that you did during that traumatic incident. Meaning that if love hurt and you said, I'm never going to love again in that moment, that will trigger that pain, that appointment, that trauma, and you will have that command again. You're like, I can't do this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what a trigger is.
It's a judgment. It's a judgment. It's an unhappy judgment. So any judgment really. I mean, judgment
A
is the source of
subconscious.
sorrow.
So
A subconscious, though.
let's say you've been triggered and that switch has been flipped and you feel like there's no going back. How do you backtrack from that if you are in a relationship where you're trying to better the communication?
Yeah, so that's what we come up with. You really need to get a support system and know that those triggers are going to come up. Like, how are you going to deal with that? So number one, you have to do your inner work and do your trauma work and do as much as you can to be as preventive. And then you've got to actually have, that's why they have 12-step meetings. If you don't have that, we're actually creating in society an actual relationship circle for people to get on principle, go there and vent. A lot of people go to their partners and tell them everything and tell them all their issues and why they're evaluating, and it's just like, it puts this big burden on the relationship. So holding a space and have a support group for you to deal with your crap.
Yeah, it's huge. I think if you could sincerely prioritize peace and mean it, if you wanted peace more than anything else, the rest of the steps will take care of themselves.
1,000%.
So you prioritize peace, and then you practice peace when it's easy. That's what meditation is. That's what mindfulness is. You don't try and practice peace only when you're in the middle of an argument.
Once you're triggered.
Like that's not going to work
good
so
luck.
well, right? So I would say those are the top two tips. The third tip for me is really keeping all part of your awareness always inside, so that you're always aware of where you are on a scale from like 0 to 10 in terms of stress, so that when you're, if you're at a 7 or 8, it's too late.
Yeah.
So as you start noticing that you're dialing up the stress and anxiety on the inside, that's the time to dial it back.
Then you get a
4 or
coach
5.
like Rob.
Right, there you go. Exactly.
You call your coach, you go, I'm going down a bad.
I want to yell at my wife. I'm going to yell at you instead, Rob.
What if you're on the flip side of that, though, and you notice the other person's been triggered and you're in control of your own emotions in the situation? How does that person then help?
Then you make them wrong and you say, you go get help.
But seriously, because it's really hard. I've been in relationships where then the person is like, confiding and sharing and everything with me, and I've clearly triggered them somehow, or life has triggered them, and they want me to save the situation, have an answer that will help them, and I have no answer.
So I will speak for all men, and we are pretty bad about that because we want to fix. And if we can't fix it, we want someone else to fix it. Right? And so the challenge and the opportunity there, Jazz, is to simply be the change that you want to see in him, which is just to maintain your peace. Don't feed the negative or undesirable behavior with increasing attention. And don't try to,
But how do you,
fix
in
it.
maintaining that peace, then not make the other person feel like you don't care?
Yeah, so a couple things. So the first thing is active listening, right? So that's listening without anything else on your mind, really. It's listening without interrupting, mentally or verbally. It's listening without judgment or condemnation. And then what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to, as you listen, you want to wait till they finish and then reflect back what you heard in your own words without judgment. Okay, so if I heard you correctly, what I heard you say was X, Y, Z. Did I hear you correctly? And they said, oh yeah, I heard, that's pretty much it. Then at that point, you validate, normalize, and empathize. So essentially you're saying, if I were you, and I would feel and think and behave exactly the way you are right now. And you have to mean that. And if you think about it, that's coming from a literal place.
I would be crazy too if I felt that way.
Right. Well, I would be crazy too if I had the crazy upbringing you had, the crazy traumatic experiences, and I had the crazy thoughts in my head right now. Essentially, is what you're saying on some level, but from a place of true authenticity and empathy. If you do that, that's most of the work right there.
So fascinating. Well, I mean, there's so many modalities and ways, but bottom line is you can't go into relationship thinking you're never going to have reactions. Like that would be, you'd be a superhuman.
Right.
So the point is to do your inner work, to have a support system, and to not have unrealistic expectations. And on that note, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jess Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land.
Hello and welcome to Hashtag.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Ziering and this is the Housewives of Hollywood.
I'm Joanna Garzilli. You're watching Life Stories.
So welcome to Getting Real with Pamela, a positive and purposeful show about passionate people and their journeys.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Eyes Up Here. I'm your host, Lindsay Palos.
Welcome back to another episode of Mind, Body, Spirit. I'm Dr. Kate.
Hello and thank you so much for saying yes to tuning into the Yes Life show. I am Yes Jess.
My people, this is Table for One and I'm Leah Sergakis, and
It is time for another episode of Sassy and Single, because that's what I am. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie.
Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Erica Della Cruz, the hashtag Passionista. Welcome to Passion to Paycheck.
Welcome to another episode of Purpose. I'm your host, Brittany Zonker.
welcome back to On That Note. I'm your host, Elizabeth Lake. She shares all her tricks in her new book, Your Healthiest Healthy, The Beautiful and Talented, Samantha Harris.
Hey everyone, I'm Lindsay Hoffman and welcome to the Joseph Bliss Show.
I'm Harry Howard. I am him.
Welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show, and every week I have the honor of interviewing a game changer in the wellness arena.
Hi, welcome to Defining Moments. I'm Suzanne Kloss.
Hi guys, my name is Serena Poon and welcome to my show, Serena Live.
Hello, I'm Lauren Francesca.
I'm Brad Grunberg.
And you're watching
How to Start.
What is pussy poppin', you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Angel.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another episode of Sippin' the Tea.
It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.
This is my first TV experience. I'm so happy I did it with you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. You can always find these videos and binge them on EverTalk TV. They're also now on Apple TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. There's nothing more sexy than an empowered woman. Jamie Anderson is in the house. She's a writer, director, and you've got some great projects, right? That just come out?
Yes.
How are you? Tell us all about it.
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I love you guys so much.
Oh, we love you.
You guys are on point, man. You guys are
Truth be told,
mind.
it's because we ran into each other at Craig's the other night.
Craig, we love you.
Craig, thanks for always welcoming us. And we're like, we planned this. Just kidding, we didn't really plan that.
No, yeah, and I was inspired by what you were wearing, so here I am.
I always say hashtag fashion speaks, and I just really appreciate all the time and talent you've shared with us in this community. Congratulations on the Hollywood Short Film Fest. This is a really big accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's the Hollywood Comedy Short Film Festival. It's at the Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, you know, and it's our world premiere, so it's so exciting. And you know, moreover, I'm thrilled that everyone who works so hard is getting recognized. So yeah.
I actually had the pleasure of seeing the film at the London at this like secret sneak peek. But we have
VIP treatment.
We have a look that we're going to share with you right now.
Lady, you live in paradise.
Welcome to paradise. Welcome to paradise.
We're here. I'm going to be singing Oh Mio Babino Caro.
We all know you won't be contributing to the decorations.
Hi guys, we're going to feed the homeless.
Did they bust them in? Did they cross the fence?
Did they sneak into paradise?
You live in a Porsche?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
They thought
Mr. White would make people forget I'm Hispanic.
I'm beginning to think that none of this is normal.
Are you taking your meds?
Play that game called Pretend.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I'm fine. No one is fucking fine.
I love that.
It is absolutely, truly genius. The satirical social comedy laced through that is so, really unparalleled, and you do it in a way that is so humorous, but it's actually very tragic.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, totally.
This world of paradise and suburbia. So tell us what inspired this experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about paradise is a made-up place in this film. It's that elusive place everyone's trying to get to, and the people in this town, want you to conform to their methods, and they don't want you to feel. So they're all drinking, they're taking magic pills, they're doing whatever it takes to numb out. And I think
also like the real world.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Sounds like Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is the highest antidepressants in the country. And
Wow.
It's very much in that kind of fantasy land of trying to be happy.
Yeah, I think it's everywhere, and whether it's substances or your phone or whatever it is, and so you're right. It's deep tragedy. I mean, this woman is on the brink of a nervous breakdown, but people don't want to hear it. They just want her to shut up and take your pills. So it's really about her breaking out, and getting back in touch with herself and her body. So not taking the pills and then rebelling, at the school pageant by ripping off her prairie dress.
Humor is so healing. It was something new, right? You don't typically do comedy, or do you?
I do. It's just usually darker comedy.
What do you draw from when you're writing films like this?
It's interesting. You guys were talking about triggers today. And I try to use triggers as part of my healing in art. So by my own triggers, by listening to other people and what they're triggered by all the things that our friends are going through in relationships, marriages, divorce, whatever it is, people are hurting, and so, but how can we make that into something positive? So that's really what I try to do in my art, get in there and then find a way to
rip off the prairie dress.
We do have to make it lighten up the triggers, because we all have them. So it's like if we dig so serious and make them dramatic, all or nothing. So humor is so healing in itself.
Yeah.
Is that the hardest part of a project like this? It's like translating this idea that you have in your head into something that's on the screen that people can instantly relate to? Or what would you say is the hardest part?
Yeah, I think it's like anything in life. You think it's going to be one thing, and then it turns into something else, and kind of surrendering to, that's what it is. That's what it's going to be. They say there's 3 movies: the one you write, the one you shoot, and the one that ends up getting edited. And that's truly the way it is, because I didn't intend for this film to be so dark, I think. But it was so real that's just what happened while we're shooting, So yeah, it takes a form of its own.
What would you say is the overall message to the audience with this film?
I think the overall message is to be brave and standing in your truth, to be authentic to yourself, and it's not always going to go over with everyone around you, and so really trusting in that higher self, that intuition, and being brave enough to be outside the box, whatever that is.
I love that.
What's your truth?
My truth is letting the universe or spirit, whatever you want to call it, work through me. So that I can really help people also shine. I love that about directing. It's truly, it feels like my deeper purpose. Yeah.
How do you tap into that place? Is there anything that you do consistently that allows you to either stay there or get there easily?
Definitely meditating every day, you know. I think when things get hard, you know, you have to really be grace under pressure, you know.
Yes, love that.
Oh, grace under pressure, that is key.
Yeah.
It's a throwback to Grace Under Fire, remember that? Remember that? I didn't want to date myself, but there it is.
But that's what I love about Hollywood is that I don't think people realize that. You know, they go and see a comedy or something like that, but they don't know that there is messages and there's profound consciousness coming through in so many ways here in Hollywood now, which is super cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you're most excited about this? That's what's...
I'm totally excited about this. I also just got back from England where I directed a longer short film called I Won't Say I Love You. And that was really fun because it's a quintessential English rom-com. And we shot in the beautiful Cotswolds, which is, yeah, like an hour outside of London. And yeah, I just love directing and I can't wait for the next thing and the feature. And
when you started, did you know or think that you would be this successful? Did you know that you'd make a career out of it? The day you said, hey, this is the thing I want to do, were you sure that you'd make a, you know?
I know, I'm like, wow, it's like having that like moment, like my brain's like exploding. No, I think I mean, obviously, like, you know, we have visions and desires, but I think just putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
And so it is interesting, kind of like this morning, sitting here and looking back even at a year ago, and it's like, oh, wow, you know.
Yeah.
So
incredible, so inspiring.
Well, we're so inspired by you, and it's so wonderful to watch a woman rise in Hollywood. So keep it up, girl.
Thank you.
We need
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Tell everyone where they can find your film and follow your journey.
You can find my film on my website, or at least the trailer, jamieandersonfilm.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at jamieandersonfilm. And yeah, I think that's enough handles.
We're wishing you such a wonderful screening.
For sure. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Unfair, but I'm guessing that everything that you learn and your journey through Heal has had some sort of impact on you becoming a mama.
I've always had this awe and kind of curiosity about how intelligent the human body is.
Okay.
But now I'm just like living in this awe, like I'm creating this human being inside of me. It's wild.
It's crazy.
And to really try, like my women's bodies are designed to do this.
Would you want to do a home birth as well, or?
Yes.
I thought with the squeal that was going to be, oh no. Wow.
I do. I
feel like that's brave.
It is brave.
Wow.
I admire many people that, you know, I get through birth, whatever way you want to do it. There's no judgment.
I was at a casino night last night.
Yeah.
We went to celebrate with Maria Conchita Alonso. We have a special look at some of the video from the event last night.
Than 18 animal foundations. My organization is called VEE Fauna, which means Venezuela Endorses Fauna. It's not a non-profit. So I got together, I united with one that has been a non-profit for 11 years. It's called Luchemos por la Vida, Fight for Life. They have an orphanage where many of their kids have HIV. I thank you very, very much for your contribution, because alone we can't do it.
She's such a love.
Yeah, our love and light to Maria Conchita and all the orphanages that she's supporting in Venezuela. You know, it's always great when Hollywood comes together and has a heart and gives back. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. EverTalk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at EverTalk TV. I'm Jessamine Moyer, and we'll see you next time. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome the show. Friend of the Focus family, Jen Braff is in the house. Good morning, Jen.
Thank you.
Jen,
Good morning.
You're officially my new mentor. You are amazing. You're like incredible. Do you mind if we say
No,
what we
of
say?
course not.
So you're 60 years old. Yes. I would not think that you are out of your 40s. Like
Totally.
amazing.
Unbelievable.
What are you doing? We want to know.
Well, you know, I've always said this, and since I was 40, people would ask me, you know, what do you do to look young and stay young? And the first thing I would say is you have to.
I love you. That's my kind of wine maker.
LOL. As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at EverTalk TV, and I'm so excited to share this journey experience with you. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. EverTalk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at EverTalk TV. I'm Jasmine Moyer, and we'll see you next time. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. We are excited to welcome a focus friend of the family, Jen Braff, in the house. Thank you so much for being with us today, and happy birthday!
Thank you. Happy birthday! You look amazing. You're like my new mentor. Do you mind if we talk about where?
Of course not.
So you're 60 years old. I would never have thought you are out of your 40s. You are drop dead gorgeous. We want to know your secrets.
I'll have whatever she says.
Definitely.
Well, when I turned 40, and a lot of people started to ask me, you know, how do you stay looking so young, and what are your secrets? And the first thing I would say is your attitude. And a lot of people would say, you know, oh yeah, come on, just give me the goods.
Right.
But it really is. You know, everybody talks about positive thinking, and yeah, sometimes you can be positive. You know, I wake up every morning and I say how grateful I am for the day. I don't know what's going to happen, but I always try to find the positive out of anything that happens. And in fact, I would say the most creative times for me, and the best times for me to discover myself, to learn more about myself, were the times when one time I was very ill. It was about 5 years ago, and I was kind of stuck. I was bedridden, and it really gave me the time to just kind of focus on what was going on in my life. And I really got to know myself, and I dug deep. And you know, spirituality has always been a big part of my life.
But I do think people think that actually does create age, like age or not, because there's a fight or flight thing that happens in the body, and if you're relaxed and rejuvenating and having non-stress, you have more time to look better, right?
Yes, absolutely. And then the next time I dislocated and I fractured my pinky toe, and I was bedridden again for only 10 days, and that's when I sat down and I said, I have to do something, and I grabbed a sketch pad and a pencil, and I started drawing portraits.
Wow.
And so I'm an artist, and I was doing abstract, and I didn't know that happens a lot. When people ask me, how do you just do things? You know, when I turned 50, in my 50s is when I became a professional artist. My dad's an artist, my son's an artist. It goes way back from my dad's side, all the artists. But I didn't know that I would be able to paint portraits. But I didn't ever think, well, you can't. And I don't ever think that way. I you know, the older I get, the more I get really excited about my future, which sounds really, you know, a lot of people are like, the older you get, you know, you just look at your past, and that's where all the things that you know, all your achievements and all the new things, you know, you let them go.
But we need more women like you in the world. We really do, in that we think that it's over. At 40, it's over, your life's over, as you know it. Like, you are a symbol for so many women.
Thank you.
To say it's possible.
Yeah, and a lot of people will tell you, especially in LA, where, you know, we live in the industry, you reach 30, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, time to retire, because that's kind of, you know, what happens. But I don't really, I've worked in the industry, I've been a model. I was a model for 40 years almost. And I kind of had to learn how to always, you know, keep my body fit. I had to change with the times. You know, I was always, when I was younger, I always said to my friends, I would say, you would tell me if I started to wear something funky and trying to look too young. And now I just see that the older I get, there are new trends that come in, and I can't really, of course, I don't look good in the real trendy clothes, but I just kind of always change. It's always learning.
But we want to know, what do you do? What's your morning routine? What do you eat? What do you, like, the little things that people
Okay.
are okay.
Well, in the morning, I have a coffee, but I don't drink real coffee. It's called Teeman's, and it's a blend of antioxidants. There's a little bit of coffee in there, but there's some like matcha. And then I add a raw cocoa powder. I make a mocha. And I stay away from dairy, stay away from gluten. And my skin is better. I take supplements, collagen, peptides, amazing, hyaluronic acid, that's really hard to say. And I have a routine that I've been doing for probably the last 20 years that, you know, keeps my skin and my hair and my nails healthy from the inside out.
Package that routine, sell
Seriously.
it.
Exactly.
I want to.
You should, you've got to.
With age comes a tremendous amount of wisdom. What do you wish you would have known?
What do I wish I would have known? Well, I think the main thing is that I wish that I would have known that it really didn't matter if other people didn't approve of me, if they didn't like me, if they were critical of me. Because that can happen with your friends and your family, you know, people that are close to you. You're always going to be disappointed if you count on everybody to support you constantly. So I wish I would have learned that it was important only that I felt good about myself and that I liked myself and that I was happy with the things I was doing in my life. And when I discovered that and I really believed it, then everything was just so much easier.
How wonderful you can share that with your new grandbaby. I can't believe I'm even saying that. She's the most gorgeous grandmother I've ever met.
I have a new well, he's 6 months. He just turned 6 months. His name is Logan, and you know, you talk about purpose in life. And I think when I was younger, it was about, my purpose was to be happy, to be successful for myself. And now, you know, all the way to you know, the other end of it, I look at my grandson and I'm just, I adore him, and I have a new purpose, and I want to be healthy, and I want to be energetic, so I can grow with him, and I can be there and spend time with him, and just be, you know, the grandma that I mean, I miss my grandmothers, and and I want to be there for him.
So
nice.
Tell everyone where they can find and follow your journey and purchase your art or commission a portrait.
Okay. Well, I have an Instagram page. It's at Jen Braff, and Jen Braff Art is my art page where you can see my art. I also am going to start back on my YouTube channel, which will give all the hints and the tricks and the tips about anti-aging, and then, you know, you can see everything I'm doing on my Instagram page and Facebook.
Impressive, not gonna lie. We want to see the tips and tricks. We'll be there. I'll be your number one fan. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Could just ask yourself and answer some questions.
I'm going to ask myself some questions. You can just kind of sit there and, you know, react with your face as I go through.
I'm introducing an Emmy Award-winning host. I better freaking get this right.
You knocked it out of the park. You did a great job. I'm so good at what I do, aren't I? Okay.
I hope you're filming right now.
These are the things you take.
The outtakes are the best.
I know.
We
kind of like having her here.
Yeah, she's like, so much good morning, LaLa. We've got things to do. Rooms here set today.
That's right.
I love that.
So tell us about the proper way to actually taste this wine.
Put it in your mouth. I love you. That's my kind of winemaker.
LOL.
As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at EverTalk TV, and I'm so excited to share this journey experience with you. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. EverTalk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at EverTalk TV. I'm Jasmine Moyer, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa on Friday Feels. We're going to talk about how to attract your man with Molly Lida. How are you? Your life coach. You are MFT, LPCC. What is that? I don't know all those.
MFT is marriage family therapist.
Got it,
and LPCC is licensed professional clinical counselor.
All right. Fancy.
We want to give a special thanks to the Bra Network and Carrie Murray
Yes,
for
yes.
connecting us. But you've been a friend of the Focus family for a long time. As an expert of dating and helping women be their best selves to attract the relationships they want, what advice can you share with us?
Oh my gosh.
Where to start?
How much time do I have? So I think that some of the things that are most important for women as they're calling in relationships is first to make themselves happy. They really have to, it's about happiness first on the inside, right? And as they're doing that, doesn't mean their life has to be perfect, but it means, are you finding happiness and joy on a regular basis? Are you finding a way to maybe get rid of some of those toxic relationships? Are you figuring out those triggers, going back to that, right? So you can actually have some peace and find more bliss in your life. When we're in that space, we're more open, we're more willing and ready to bring someone in our life, as opposed to being lonely, being needy, some of those things.
So we talk a lot about energy on this show, and I know you've kind of mastered defining masculine and feminine energy. Could you describe that to us?
Yeah. So masculine energy, and part of why this is so important in my work is, first of all, as humans, we each have a balance of masculine and feminine energy, so important. And what I've been noticing and what's been happening for a while for us as women, we're so independent, we're super successful, and we are our own protectors, we're our own providers. And in doing so, we run a lot of masculine energy to live that life. And it's great and it's amazing, and there are amazing opportunities. And it can be depleting and it can be exhausting. So masculine energy is more linear, it's a little more direct. There's more of this containing, and Rob, you can maybe speak to some of that.
You're doing a great job right now. You're doing a great job.
And so with that kind of driving, leading energy, that's where we get our, the drive with career, that's how we have that success and, kind of climbing up the ladder, whatever it might be. The feminine energy on the other side is there's a lightness, there's a flow, it's very circular. One example of that is, and I love this happens in the workplace, it also happens just when women are together. You might you're going to plan something, or you have an item, like some agenda you're going to go over, and so there's 1 through 10. But for women, especially if there's 5 of us in the room and we're starting to figure this out, we'll start with 1, but then somehow that'll lead to 5, and then we'll go up to number 2, and then we'll be back to 9 and 10, and it'll all get covered, but that's part of that flow, that's kind of that multitasking.
So let's talk about this. You have an actual, kind of course, I'd say, attract your man. So if I'm somebody and I'm like, okay, I want a man, it's my kind of pet peeve, because I'm like, I just feel like so many people watched You Complete Me by Jerry Maguire, you know? So how do you go, I'm gonna help you attract your man, when it's like, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's such a good question. I have a workshop coming up next Wednesday, April 24th. So I just find it so great and so ironic that you're mentioning the Jerry Maguire line, because I was thinking about that as I was anticipating being on this show, and that line, you complete me, that makes the whole.
That screwed us all up. We've been in therapy ever since.
What is it, over 20 years now?
Really?
Yeah,
it was a great flick, though.
Yeah, it was a great story. So we don't want to do that. We want to be whole as we can on our own. And we're all works in progress, right? We're all growing and changing and having that kind of growing edge as far as discovering more about ourselves, healing parts of ourselves. So as far as attracting someone, it starts with that inner happiness and finding some of that contentment, but not being perfect, right? There's also just that ease in our feminine body. So going back to that feminine energy, right? Finding a way to relax and to receive. That's another thing. As women, and how in the work world and everything that we've been pursuing, we're so used to doing everything for ourselves. And then when maybe you're in a dating situation or in an opportunity to meet someone, you do everything for yourself, and the guy wants to show up for you in other ways, and yet there's not room for them.
So that's what you do. So on the workshop, what will you take them through for those processes?
Yeah, so we're also going to be looking at visioning. That's another thing that I've noticed with a lot of my clients. I know of one person who had been in a long-term relationship, needed some time to kind of unwind from that, was out dating, having a great time, being very casual, hoping that, yeah, maybe there'll be a long-term relationship, maybe I'll get married, but it didn't happen because her vision wasn't really clear. She was out having fun, and there was just more of the fun, which is great. So one of the things I'll be doing in the workshop is helping them create a vision that can help pull them to the things that they really want.
That's super scary for me, because the first thing I think of is, what if I get the vision wrong and I attract something that's not right for me? And this is translated across my life. That's why I burned my vision board. Because I want something that I believe the universe or God, whatever it is that you will, spirit, knows better than I do.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that holds me back, I think, from a lot of things, because I'm not able to define what that
Yeah.
is, whether that's a man or in other areas
Yeah,
of my
yeah,
life.
yeah.
So how do you do that?
It's a really good point. I think that when vision, you kind of have to hold it with the open hand, right? As opposed to the gripping. So he has to be this height and this color hair and these color eyes and all of that. That's different than the feeling. It's really about the feeling that we want to experience when we're with somebody, right? So it's the feeling of what we do on the weekends together. It's the feeling of when I've had a rough day. How do I want that person to show up in my life? And so much of it, Jeslyn, I think is really about your heart, and it's really about getting quiet and getting clear about what you want, what feels good already and what you want more of. And then you can ask for spirit to come in and support you in that, knowing that the joy of life is also these, we don't know what's going to happen. So it's that unfolding and the fun and the miracles. Like, this is a super fun thing for you, I think, that you're doing.
Oh, I love this.
Yes,
this is
yes.
what I'm born to do.
Yeah, and I remember you talking at the networking event about how you felt like you were being called or something was coming, and you just stayed in that open energy.
And I just wanted to be ready for it so I could show up. And I feel like the same way kind of in relationships, just be ready. Show up as my best self, but I don't want to define who that other person is.
I think it's precisely what she's saying, right? I think so. And I love this, and I love your response to Jeslyn's question. And I love your approach, Jeslyn. That's been my life as well. I think the glitch for me was always that I didn't believe that the universe or life or God, that its will for me was perfect happiness. And that's the glitchiness. You've got to really make sure that you're clear about that, because otherwise you might be setting yourself up for like increasingly negative or uncomfortable or painful experiences.
Yes, and so that leads me also to the self-awareness piece. And as we're discovering, as we're calling in what we want, it's also recognizing where those blocks are. And that's where work with a therapist, work with a coach, being a part of a group, 12-step, whatever those things are going to be, is going to help us recognize those blocks that are preventing us from having more of the life that we want and more of the life that I believe every single person
that's
deserves.
beautiful. And so you'll be doing that through the workshop.
Yes.
Oh, that's huge.
Tell people where they can find the workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So it's tinyurl.com/ml-attract your man.
We'll be sure to put that on the blog.
Yes.
Well, thank you. We're so grateful for you and for sharing all this insight with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
And celebrated your success and your sister's success and your neighbor's success and that girl on Instagram's success. And you were ready, because it is our time, and it's our time that we rise together. And I'm just so incredibly grateful that you've given us the opportunity to do that with you.
Erin and Jeslyn are two of the most brilliant, beautiful women I've ever met in my entire life. And that is excluding my mom and my sister, because they will cut me. I promise they will. And I've never met anything but beautiful, brilliant women, right? And all of you are a testament to that. So just thank you so much for honoring us. I feel so humbled and so grateful just to be a part of this incredible journey that Dr. Erin and Jeslyn sort of have invited me on. Thank you, Carrie. This is just a fantastic event, and I'm so inspired by everybody's story.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Today we are all about girls rock. We're so excited to have this power duo, mother-daughter team representing this incredible organization up in Santa Barbara. So explain to us again a little bit about what Girls Rock is.
So Girls Rock programs exist all over the world. We just happen to be home to the largest in Santa Barbara. And it's a program that literally takes girls from the ages of 6 to 16, and we put them in bands. So we'll put you on drums, keys, vocals, and over the course of summer camp or over the course of an after-school semester, you'll have to literally write original music. You'll have to collaborate with your band, name your band, market your band, learn your respective instrument, and then you have to perform to a sold-out show. And so a lot of people think Girls Rock is all about music. And it's a lot about music, but it's even more about building self-esteem in girls.
So Sophia, how has that impacted you in your life and your art?
Well, when I started with Girls Rock, I was really shy. I'd never been on stage before. And so it really gave me a way to perform, and it really got me into, you know, singing and playing guitar and writing music.
But not just perform. I mean, you were a finalist in like some big competitions.
Yeah, I won Teen Star recently, which was really, really fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's super important. You know, I grew up in Santa Barbara, and I look back at the time when I was, 16, and we would go watch the boys surf, or watch them play instruments, or watch them whatever. I couldn't be happier to think about women, all the girls just like, being their own hobbies, their own development. So important.
Yeah, we talk a lot about self-esteem, and people don't realize it's one of the biggest issues facing girls today. So the statistics are like 70% of girls don't feel like they're good enough as a teenager. And she sometimes says, I think it's 100%, Mom. And so to have something like music that you can actually like pour your emotions and your soul into, and a program like Girls Rock, which is all about lifting girls up. And we're not teaching girls to be perfect, we're teaching them to be brave. And that's what program is about. And it's so fantastic that these exist all over the world and right here in LA.
It's incredible.
Amazing.
Tell us a little bit about, what we're seeing.
So these are some of the girls' camps. We have the largest program in the world at Girls Rock Santa Barbara, and it's because we have a program called No Girl Left Behind. And I serve on the board of that as a volunteer, and about 60% of our girls are on scholarships. And we have girls in the summer camp that are all over the world that come in for this. But we also, last summer, it was really special. It was the first time we started to take Syrian refugee girls into the camp. Yes, so we have a lot of scholarship programs to make sure that music is accessible for all girls across our world.
Amazing. Well done.
What's your personal journey in this, and why is it so passionate to
well,
you?
For me, my day job is I run a disaster relief organization called Shelterbox. And when I first had Sophia, she was considered a $1 million baby because she had paralyzed vocal cords. And they said if she lived, she would never talk. And she made her first sound at 6 months of age. And when she started singing at 3, I just wanted to help her do whatever she wanted to do in life, right, and empower her. And music was her thing that she picked up. And so I was searching for something in Santa Barbara to get her involved in and found Girls Rock. And like I said, I thought it was about music education, and little did I know it'd really be so fundamental to her and helping build her self-confidence. And I'm her mom, but music is her home. And so I just want to do everything I can to support her and support girls through this amazing program.
Wow, it's profound.
So beautiful.
It really does speak to the value of like not judging anything based on appearance, because that you would have thought she would be the least likely person to have a career or have an interest in music if she had that challenge. It's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Would you sing something for us?
Of course.
Okay.
All right. This was the second song that I sang in the competition, and then I won, so I figured I better play some of it. call me queen. You're in ripped jeans, and you just pulled up to a love song. Hearts in my eyes, strawberry skies, beat up Corvettes, smelling the cigarettes. Well, time keeps on slipping, and you make me feel like a teenager in love. You make me feel like I'll be forever young. I don't want nobody else. I don't want nobody else. You make me feel like a teenager in love. So don't let me down.
That was incredible.
Thank you.
Really beautiful.
So what do you see? How do you see the girls and how they've come from maybe feeling insecure and watching them through the program, through the camps, or whatever? What do you witness?
I see a lot of just friendship building between the girls, and I think having those close friendships to empower each other really helps build you up. And especially that being brave and being strong aspect of everything is something that I personally need a lot going through my teenage years. And I think seeing other girls being able to foster that part of themselves is really great.
Amazing.
How can anyone get involved?
So, girlsrocksb.com, there are lots of ways to get involved, from volunteering to helping sponsor girls through the program. We want to double the number of girls, Syrian refugee girls from San Diego County, coming up this summer. So go online, go on our Facebook, Instagram, girlsrocksb.com.
Amazing.
Wow, you guys rock. Truly.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land here on Friday Feels. I have some extraordinary conversations with these exceptional guests. And today we're talking a little bit about self-love, lots of things, but self-love included. And so the tip and trick I'm asking you guys about for today is, what is your tip and trick sort of around self-love? Is there one thing that's helped you love yourself more or increase your self-esteem or your sense of self-compassion? What would you say it is? Yes.
Okay, here we go. Self-validation. Not trying to get validation or, quote, love from other people. Be it inside yourself, and then it comes, you know.
Love it. Thank you.
That's so good. What about you, Jen?
Well, I think learning about, loving yourself. And I like to go out there and I have some charities that I give to, and I also give to the homeless, and I like to actually go out and talk to them and have an actual conversation and be personal with them, and it just makes me feel very, very good about myself, about what I'm doing, and it reflects back. And so it kind of is like self-love when I do that, when I give to other people.
Love that.
Mm.
Thank you.
Good. What about you, Sophia?
I like to understand that I'm running my own race and that I don't have to be competing against other people. And just, appreciating all of my flaws and my talents and just understanding that I'm the only person that I can be against.
Oh, love
You
that.
did such a good job, Mom.
I would say for me, it's in line with Girls Rock. It's being brave, and it's just believing in myself and every day, really trying to lift others up. And I think that's one thing as women we all need to do more of is empower each other and lift each other up, and let's not build each other down, but bring each other up every day.
Love it.
So good.
For me, I'd say two things. One is I'm a big believer in the different parts of ourselves, so that we all have that inner 3-year-old, 5-year-old teenager. So it's being good and taking care of her. And then the other piece would be watch what we make things mean. If we feel rejected, are we going to then reject ourselves, or are we going to love ourselves and move on?
I mean, what a great day. What a great show.
Incredible show. We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. All of these interviews are available as a podcast on iTunes, and the whole show can be seen on EverTalk TV, now available on Apple TV.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Have a great weekend, you guys. Like, subscribe, comment, all of the above. Have a great morning, guys.
It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Oh my God.
So great.